lot of stuff.
When you have to leave, you mean?
The thing is, once the kids get here, I won't have to get off. It's just
The inconvenience
the
of it.
children.
Yeah.
It's them
All right.
getting here.
It's all right. It's on. We're live right now. We're live. Here we go. Okay. We are live and in living color. All right, y'all ready?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Here, you with me? All right, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks so much for tuning in. Apologies for the delay. We're a little bit later than usual, but we have a jam-packed show tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Weekend Showcase, trailer reactions for the week ending Friday, October 15, 2021. My name is Don Shannon. With me today are
Kiera Douglas.
And Raina Moreno.
All right. Good to see you both, ladies. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. And y'all doing all right tonight? We ready to go ahead and watch some trailers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And once again, we are broadcasting live on YouTube. Those of you who are just tuning in, you can feel free to drop a comment down below in the reactions, and we might go ahead and read it out on the air as we're discussing the trailers as we go along. As usual, after the stream, we'll go ahead and post the links to all this footage that we'll be reviewing tonight in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started with, let's see here. Here we go. Whoops. I forgot to start the local recording before this. Oh, well. Anyway, all right, here we go. So we have a lot of footage to get through here. Let's go ahead and get started. DC FanDome. This is a pretty significant event that's about to happen in the world of pop culture, in the world of comic and movie and television, general pop culture. It's happening, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow. Have either of you heard about this event before, DC FanDome?
I haven't. No.
Okay. Basically, this is a gigantic deal. It's like a mini Comic-Con for specifically DC Comics related stuff. Like I was saying, movies, television, comics. A lot of different things, and apparently this is happening tomorrow, and I've heard there's some interesting footage that's about to drop tomorrow, so let's take a look. This is DC FanDome 2021.
DC fans, are you ready?
The DC universe is about to change.
DC FanDome is coming.
One day where everything DC comes alive.
The epic global event
that will take you on a journey.
beyond your wildest expectations. Nothing compares to this.
Featuring the biggest stars, the biggest titles, the biggest reveals.
What the? Join me.
Join me
At DC FanDome 2021.
It's gonna blow people's heads off.
One day.
One show.
For you.
The fans. Save the date. You won't want to miss it.
DC FanDome. Join us live October 16th, streaming free on DCFanDome.com. And be the first to see the new trailer.
Okay, so that's DC FanDome right there in a nutshell. First reactions. What do y'all think of this?
It's gonna be fun. I like Comic-Con. I love Comic-Con. It's one of my favorite things to do at the end of the year.
Mhm.
And so it's too bad that it's just live and it's not like a touring thing or like a thing to go to. I think it would be cooler to go to.
You mean a physical location like Comic-Con instead of just live streaming online? Yeah, I hear you. I mean, these are adaptations that the whole industry, that everyone's had to go through, obviously, since COVID. This used to be a sort of thing that was done in person, but
Right.
Here again, everything has to be, everything has to be virtual, but it's better than nothing, and it keeps people safe,
Yeah.
generally speaking.
Sometimes it is better than nothing, but sometimes I think it really is like a testament to like where we are. Like in times, like whenever like something that we go to, like our fave events and stuff, and then they're like, oh, we're still having the event, but it's all virtual, and you're just like, man, I remember when it wasn't. I remember when it wasn't virtual.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I suppose. Kiera, what about you? What are your thoughts on this?
It's cool. I've never been to Comic-Con. I want to go one day. But it looks pretty cool. I think, like how you said, like it's live streaming kind of takes the fun away of it. But it is what it is.
I'm sure eventually they'll do in-person stuff again once things kind of like settle down from you know what. But I mean, for now, like I said, we have this and we have a lot to look forward to. It looks like I saw some stuff in there about Black Adam. I saw some stuff in there about obviously that new Robert Pattinson Batman movie that's about to come out. We have a trailer that we're expecting to drop tomorrow. Unfortunately, we don't have it to review tonight, but it's something to definitely look forward to over the course of the weekend. So we'll have to add that to the roster of content to look over next week, I suppose. So moving on, here's a movie called The 355. If I'm not mistaken, this was another one of those movies that was supposed to have been out around 2020 that got delayed due to you know what. But this is another trailer that was released within the last week to week and a half or so. Let's take a look. This actually looked interesting from the first trailer. Here's trailer 2.
That story that they told us about in training.
About George Washington's first female spy during the Revolution. They called her Agent 355 because they didn't want the world to know her real name. But her legacy lives on. We're the top agents from around the world. American, British, German, Colombian, Chinese.
But now we have a common enemy. They can start World War III from a simple reach of their keyboard. So we need to join forces. It's like half the CIA's most wanted.
Always such a tough guy.
I'm not an agent, I'm a therapist.
They thought I would give you my secrets.
Do you have secrets? We put ourselves in danger so that others are not. I'll handle the guns. Are you in therapy? I should be. You're the best in the world at what you do. You have cameras in your jewelry, comms in your earrings. You bump, I grab. The target is on the move. You're not going in there alone. We go together. I have a family. I cannot do this anymore. The bad guys are out there right now. You go home. You bring them with you. Are you under control? Are you? No.
Black cars, all black, everything. I've got 4 more agents out on the street.
I counted 6, but thanks for the tip.
I like the new team.
We're the 355.
Okay. What whoops, sorry. What do we think of this film? This particular trailer. Who wants to go first?
I like it. It looks fun. I feel like Lupita chooses good movies to be in. She's in like really like top tier movies. She's in movies that like leave a stamp on people. Like honestly, and in her resume, like she picks good movies to be in. They're all super A1. So I'll definitely watch it because she's in it.
Cool.
Looks good. Looks fun. Full of girl power. A little. It's giving like some like James Bond and Charlie's Angels for me. I don't know why. Like that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I totally got that too. This movie really felt to me like everything that the Charlie's Angels remake from a couple years ago kind of should have been. Like it was really kind of hokey.
Really bad.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't gonna go that far with it, but yeah, it was really bad.
It did.
It's I was trying to be generous, but it's you know, you could see they were trying to update what is like a clearly very kind of like dated sort of attempt at a detective show, but some things kind of should, I would argue respectfully that some things should kind of stay where they were created, where and when they were created, if you catch my drift. Kiara, would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, most definitely. I didn't see Charlie's Angels. I don't know why they decided to do that. That was just bad.
I didn't see that either.
It was just a bad idea. I stand Lupita Nyong'o. Just genuinely love her. Amazing person. She's one of those people, I'll watch anything. I don't care what it is. I could watch paint dry and you direct.
Right.
Still think it's a creative embodiment of work. For the film, it looks a little low budget. I'm not even gonna lie. It looks a little budget, looks a little risky. Looks a little like
looks a little,
a little more. But gotta give grace where grace is needed, because if they filmed this during a pandemic, then you did what you said. I think it'll be a good film. It reminds me of Ocean's 11, just without like the plot of you trying to scam money, maybe. I don't know. But I think it'll do well. They'll just do well. I haven't seen Penelope Cruz in anything in a hot minute. So if she came out the shadows to act and do something, then it has to be worth something.
Right.
I didn't even know she acted anymore. I promise you, I thought she fell off the face of the earth and became a normal person. But
Yeah, this looks like something that I would watch just out of raw morbid curiosity to see how this turned out, because it's this I want to think that there's more to this trailer than just it doing its job and not basically setting us up for another Ocean's 8.
I hope so, but you never know.
I mean, Raina, did you see that movie?
Ocean's 8?
Yeah.
I didn't.
It was really good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Well, all right, fair enough. I mean, for me, there was a lot about that movie that kind of could have been done differently. Like really,
it was
the only
cast that did it. It was the cast that did it for me. Like, I love Anne Hathaway and Rihanna. She's not giving me my album, so I gotta get in where I can fit in with her. You want to go on screen? I'll do it for you, Robin.
To be fair,
I'll be
there.
Well, she's not going to give it to me, so it's okay.
Two things about that. Number one, I mean, to be fair, Rihanna's been busy kind of making herself into a billionaire lately. So like, you got to understand.
I love it. As much as I'm a huge Rihanna stan, like Rihanna Navy all day, every day, from day one, from Pondy Replay, from Music of the Sun album, from like, that is my girl, hands down. But it's funny because I love her music. I still listen to all of her stuff too. But I'm one of those that I'm like, everybody stop asking her for an album. She's just trying to be a billionaire.
I mean,
don't ask her. She's in love with ASAP Rocky. Leave her alone.
Nah.
I mean, how long did it take Adele to come out with the album that she just dropped?
That's different, Don. It's different. No, because she promised to release the album that she took. She has it. She has the album. You can't tell me that she doesn't have it. She has
just sitting on it
in the archives, and I just need her to release something. Okay,
she won't do it.
I get it. You're a billionaire. You done do. Human. You're like a what is it? A human ambassador. Like, I love it. I do. But like, also, I want the music. I need it. I need it's a bop, but it's getting a little old now. Okay, I need substance.
I need something.
Okay. How about you at home watching? Are you on Kiara's side of basically being massive Rihanna stans? Are y'all sort of chomping at the bit for new music there?
I love her and I love her music, but I'm just like, great creativity takes time. Like, example, think about Justin Timberlake. He used to make us wait a long time before he came out with something. Who else does it? And they are like gone for a while.
Frank Ocean, and that's my baby. And I love Frank.
Oh my God.
Frank can disappear for like 7 years and come back and act like nothing happened. And it's okay.
Yeah, there's music that Frank Ocean has that some people don't know about, and I love it. But there's
we need to continue this after. Can y'all pause that thought? We need to keep rolling, unfortunately. But we'll readdress this in the post show. We'll make like a clip or something, put it on IG later. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on.
Unreleased Frank Ocean that drives me nuts, girl. I want to.
We'll come back to that. To that. Moving on. But yeah, like the last thing I was saying, 355. I think I'm gonna look forward to it. Kiara, it doesn't sound like you were looking forward to it though, and Randy, you were kind of.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'll watch it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. I guess we're all watching it. Awesome. Next one here is what looks like a remake of Home Alone. This is something that just came out within this last week. It looks like it's going straight to Disney Plus. Something called Home Sweet Home Alone.
They're releasing a pair of sneakers for Home Alone.
Oh, now
Adidas.
I have a commentary on that, but let's wait on that for now. This is
of course. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So okay, trailer one for Home Sweet Home Alone. This is coming to Disney Plus, presumably next month. We'll see.
'Twas the night before Christmas vacation, and the fun was in full swing.
You split our family onto 2 separate flights. Mom! Max, please!
The family left for their big vacation. Is that everyone? The cars are leaving now! But forgot one little thing.
Mom? Dad? Uncle Blake? They don't even know I'm here. They don't even know I'm here. My mum and dad have gone to Tokyo. I'm totally on my own.
You do realise that my 10-year-old son is at home by himself. You just assumed Max was on the other flight.
We didn't take a census.
We got reports of suspicious people around 36 Lincoln Ave.
I can't go to jail, honey. I wouldn't last 30 seconds in Gen Pop. It's where fresh fish get got.
Nobody here is getting got.
And we're criminals.
I don't think so. This is my house. I have to defend it. Orange stripe, center pocket. Ooh. That did not sound right.
I am trying to get home to my son, who is alone. I'm scared. And he needs his mother.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh no, a ladder!
You think I'm that stupid?
Yes, I do.
Only on Disney Plus.
Okay. Okay. So what is y'all's reaction to this movie? And I guess I'll start with Raina, since you're the only one who's an actual parent, making you in the target demographic for something like this.
I hate it. I hate the idea. Trash already.
Wow.
I think they need to leave it alone. It was fine. And I see them trying to create certain moments, like some of the nostalgic moments that everybody remembers from Home Alone. And just leave it alone. Like, leave it where it's at. You don't have to. You don't have to remake everything. I don't understand why they do this. And I think they try to do it for, like, I guess the newer generation too, but no. Let us show our children what we watch. Let us do it. Nobody asked you to remake it. Let us share our memories.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, every year, there was one year, and I didn't realize this, and I love moments like this. One year, we watched Home Alone with the kids, and there were some words in there that I was like, I didn't realize there was like language in here like this. But I mean, let us have our moments like that. Like, let us show them. I'll be darned if they remade A Christmas Story. That Home Alone has that type of status. A Christmas Story.
So
Home
here's
Alone, it was ugly. I don't like it.
I mean, to be fair, the little kid, I don't remember his name right now, but that little kid, Ralphie from A Christmas Story, is still acting to this day. He was one of Mysterio's henchmen in Spider-Man Far From Home.
He's the best. Like, if they remade that, just don't touch it. That's all I have to say about him. Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm looking at the trailer. I was immediately outraged.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. The question is why? I don't even want to know why. It's just silly.
You can see that they thought it was a legitimate try.
It's very ugly.
But I mean, okay, let's start with the basics of what they changed. First and foremost, the biggest alteration that I noticed is that this seemed to be like a fairly mixed, like, American to British family. Like the mom and the kid have a British accent, but the dad is Pete Holmes. So okay. The Wet Bandits, the Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci characters from the original 2 films. Apparently the Joe Pesci character, it looks like the Joe Pesci half of the Wet Bandits has been gender swapped, and it's now a husband and wife team, it sounds like.
It's crazy.
I guess. I don't know why they did that necessarily. But there is one thing I want to go ahead and point out here. Let me go ahead and hang on a second. I'm gonna go ahead and mute the trailer. I'm gonna go ahead and roll back through here because there's an Easter egg that somebody in the comments for the original video. Again, we're gonna go ahead and post all the links to all of this, the footage that we're reviewing tonight in the description a little later on. But there's a point there's something in the trailer that I wanted to go ahead and call attention to here.
I wouldn't
trying
last
to find
30 seconds in Gen Pop. It's where
this is. Whoops. Yeah, I didn't mean to keep that volume up. Where is this thing? It's the police officer that's shown on screen. Let me see here. If I can get this to the right point. We're using the Xbox version of the YouTube app, which is kind of imprecise in terms of like stepping through frames here. So I kind of have to play through it for the most part, it would seem. Let me see here. Where is this thing? This montage is going too fast. It must be before that. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Ah, we missed it. Hang on. Nope. It's a little bit after this point. So basically, it's an Easter egg referencing the first two films, specifically the family. This character. This is one of the police officers, clearly from this film. Take a look at the name tag that's on his uniform. I don't think that was Macaulay Culkin, but that was the family's last name in the first two films. Yeah. So I don't know if they're setting up an Easter egg for this. One of the original YouTube comments on this trailer pointed this out. So I don't know if they're sort of letting the cat out of the bag there, but at least you can see they're planting seeds.
Brothers or something.
Maybe. But my point in calling attention to this is like you can see they were at least trying to put ingredients of what might be received as an homage to John Hughes' original work. John Hughes, by the way, who's been dead since 2009. One can only wonder what his reaction to something like this would be, given that this is the 7th entry technically in a franchise that he started. 7th. So, yeah, Kiara, you've been pretty silent on this one. What are your thoughts on this?
Throw it away. Here's the thing, though. Like, I like how they got my girl. So the wife or whoever, that girl, she's from the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I love her.
Oh, right. I didn't catch that casting. There you go.
She's the only reason why I would watch it, to be quite honest. But no, this is trash writing, and this is laziness, and this is just Disney Plus adding to their quota. I'm gonna need them to stop trying to get their hands on everything, and just like stay in your lane, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need
absolutely.
This.
I mean, this is one I'm not really looking forward to either, but morbid curiosity is going to make me catch it maybe one time. I don't think this is going to, I don't think, yeah.
My mom would probably like it.
I refuse.
Okay. Looks like Raina's boycotting this film, unfortunately. But fair enough. All right. It looks like, Raina, as I understand it, you're going to have to bounce in a little while, but can you stick around with us for one more? All right, cool. Yeah. Thanks so much. All right, next one. Maybe let's skip ahead a little bit because I know, Randy, you're kind of into like the horror kind of stuff, right?
Yes, please.
So, all right, it looks like we have a Netflix thing. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and let you pick the next one. We have the first trailer for Scream 5, or we have a Netflix original that seems to fit in that same sort of vein, something called Hypnotic. So, which one do you want to do first?
Scream, because if I want to see, because I'm a huge 90s movies, late 80s movies girl, 80s and early 90s movies.
Okay,
early to mid 90s. And I just want to see if they're gonna do this justice. I just want to know.
All right, looks like I'm not the only one checking stuff out due to morbid curiosity. All right, let's take a look at this. This is the first trailer for Scream, very original title. But no, this is technically the 5th entry in this franchise. It looks like it's hitting theaters January 14. So, and this trailer just came out within this last week. So let's take a look.
I miss them. This is like giving me chills because like that little house phone is nostalgic. Text message. Oh.
Are y'all hearing this properly?
No.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
This isn't Amber.
This isn't funny, Amber.
Would you like to play a game, Tara?
Doors unlocked.
All doors locked. Doors unlocked.
Hello?
I'm telling the girl. Yeah! I got my girl.
You have a gun?
I'm Sydney Prescott. Of course I have a gun.
Something about this one just feels different.
Samantha? I know who you are.
I love that they
Clayton in
brought
the
her back.
Heights. This is your life now, which means that whoever this is going to keep coming for you. You ready for this?
I love that they brought them back. They brought the originals back. My heart.
There's certain rules to surviving.
Oh,
The attacks were all on people related to the original killers.
Whatever his link is to our past, it's pulled us all back here. And I won't sleep until he's in the ground.
Hello, Sydney. It's an honor.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take this off of spotlight mode and gallery view. Okay, so first reactions to this. Raina, what do you think?
I love it. They brought back the original cast, a good amount of the original cast, like the main characters of. And it looks really good to me, this one. I usually don't like remakes, but this one seems to be pretty good. I like where they're headed with this. And I also like the way it looks. It doesn't look super like, they don't have, okay, here's like the nostalgia of it all. Like with Scream, the original one, I like that they don't have him doing anything crazy. Like all of a sudden he's like this, you know what they do? Like they'll like they'll make it like 10 times more scary than it already was. Like they'll give him like super fast speed or something. And like something super sinister is going on with him. It's always something like, they'll like add extras onto something that was in horror films, at least that was already good. And scary enough by itself. There was something I was watching. It's kind of like a zombie movie, and they made the zombie like the zombies like super fast and like.
You mean like
robotic
Dawn of the
and
Dead
stuff.
or something? Day of the Dead or something like that?
It was something that they did that I was just like, this is it's not what it was originally. Day of the Dead, they did something weird with that one too. But
yeah, you're talking about the Zack Snyder remake. It sounds like.
I think it's gonna be a good remake. Like I said, I'm glad they brought like originals back. So, and I'm not one for remakes, but this looked like a good trailer. Like I was hooked. So
certainly, judging by how you responded to Home Alone, it seems like your faith in remakes have been. I'm sorry.
I don't play around with remakes. I don't play that.
Okay, so definitely sounds like this is something you're looking forward to. Then, I mean, I'm not even sure that this is something. I gotta. There's a part of me that wants to like thumbs down this on principle, just because of the way that they handled Scream 4. I actually would have been fine with the way that. 4. Okay, so I'm just gonna shorthand it by like, if they were gonna do a fourth movie, I'm glad that they did the fourth movie in the way that they did, but they should have ended this with 3. The ending of 3, the reveal of who was the killer in 3, and the way that they sort of tied it into the first film. Because, like, you know how the third movie in a franchise always kind of has to bring back home to, like, referencing some unseen angle of the first film. You know what I mean? Right? Like Bourne Ultimatum. Like, it turns out he volunteered for the project, right? Or Return of the Jedi. We all know what happened with Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Freaking... Actually, no, I think Empire was where they did the reveal that Vader was his father. I think somebody correct me in the comments thing. But there's Spider-Man 3, right? Turns out Sandman was the person that shot Uncle Ben in the first film.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that in third movies. But with Scream, the way that they did it, you know, they really should have ended the trilogy there. I really think they should have ended it there. The fourth movie happened, and it was a decent.
Maybe I did see the fourth one, because the thing is, maybe I did see the fourth one because I remember it actually being somebody that was doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was after them, and they figured it out then.
Well, but it was another thing that was like sort of connected to like the whole story of like, because everything seems to revolve around Sydney and her family in one form or another, you know. So it's like, but I mean, they're kind of milking it at this point. I will point out. Well, actually, let me hold on to that until after we hear Kiara's reaction. I do have one other thought, but I'll hold on to it for now. Kiara, what's your thought on Scream 5?
I don't. Horror films is not my cup of tea. Like I watch them casually, but like it's not. I don't really have a critique. Scream. I don't even know if I saw any of them, to be quite honest. But it looks, you know, like a regular horror film. I'm not. I would hope that it's good. But then you say they should have stopped at the third one, so maybe it'll be okay.
I mean, there are those who don't like the third film. There's a lot of people actually who don't like the third film, but like I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of like making an ending for what at the time was supposed to be the end of the franchise, the trilogy capper, giving an ending that makes some semblance of resolution and sense in terms of creating a full circle sort of thing that ties back into the beginning, like I was saying. You know, 4 didn't really have that, and it feels like this one's just reaching. You know, the thing I was going to mention a moment ago was Kaiko and I think Thurgood was with us for this video as well last week in our weird news headlines. One of the topics that we mentioned at the end was there's the original house that the first film was filmed in is being offered up on Airbnb for like yourself and a bunch of friends to spend the weekend in basically. And there's these like interactive games you can play with like a pretend like, you know, somebody's going to call in as Ghostface, you know, and they have some like video messages from like David Arquette in character with like tips on how to survive the night, you know, because Jamie Kennedy's dead. And you know, it's like if you're gonna make an aggressive sort of, you know, capitalizing on the gig economy being what it is right now, sort of promotion for this movie that's dropping in January, you know, that perfectly coincides with the spooky season that we're in right now. We're halfway through October right now. That's pretty much how you do it. So like, it's an original way to promote the movie, but like, is this a movie that's necessary? My vote is no. I hope to be proven wrong.
It's not necessary, but I think it's fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so it sounds like, Raina, it sounds like we've kind of swapped roles here, basically, as far as how our respective reactions to the Home Alone film was in relation to this, you know, because it's like, yeah. But I mean, we'll see what happens. This movie is happening, you know. So, Kiara, what about you? Are you going to see this?
Probably not.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. It's not my lane. But you know, I might see it.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on for now. I guess Raina, you said you have to bounce in a moment. I guess if this is where the off ramp where you gotta exit the freeway. Yeah,
I'm out of here. Yeah, I gotta go.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
But it's been fun as always. Yeah. I wish I could stay. These talks are always super fun and cool, but.
Yeah, we wish you could stay too, but thanks for sticking with us so far. We'll keep going. There's a few more that I guess Kiara and I can go ahead and do, but thanks so much for joining us, Raina. We'll see you next time.
See you then. Bye, guys.
All right, later. Good night. All right, Kiara, you with me?
Yes.
All right. So moving on from Scream, let's see. We have the other horror trailer I was going to bring up. This is a Netflix feature called Hypnotic. I don't know how often do you watch Netflix originals?
I watch them very often. There's one. I forget the name of it. It's a horror film that Netflix did. It's about this dude who, essentially, long story short, his daughter gets injured on a family trip, and he has to rescue them from this hospital. I forget the name, but it's on Netflix. It's really good. And then there's another one about this couple that is looking for their daughter that allegedly got kidnapped on a camping ground that I can't think of the name either. And that one's really good. So Netflix originals, they have my eye. Like there's another one, it's called The Circle. I think it's a horror film. That was really good. And another one that's called Truth or Dare. That was really good. They have a couple of hits for a horror film. They do. They do their thing in that land. So yeah, they got my attention.
Okay. Well, let's see what this hypnotic thing is. Here's the first trailer.
I'm so glad you decided to come in.
Dr. Mead, this is the Jen. Yes, I'm the Jen.
Very nice to meet you. What do you do?
I'm sort of in between jobs. I have general anxiety, so sometimes it's hard to feel motivated. I think you should see Dr. Mead. He changed my life.
Have you ever tried hypnosis? I want you to concentrate on the light. Find yourself in a beautiful forest.
Hello?
What happened?
How did I get here? The last I remember was being at home sitting at the table. But now, I'm having weird dreams.
You're claiming someone used hypnosis with ill intent.
Or do it to control me.
Whatever his reason, I don't think he's done with you yet.
There's no private residence, no employers. The man is basically a ghost.
We're missing something. Most of these patients happen to die from extreme fear.
This is Gina.
It's Dr. Mead.
Get it off of me.
Get what off?
An idea
Planted in the mind
I know this place.
will blossom into a whole new reality.
You can wake up now.
Okay, that was Hypnotic, a new Netflix original movie that's about to drop really soon. I didn't catch the. Hang on, I was adjusting the.
October 27th.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, I bet you paid attention to that. This was a really good trailer. I'm really looking forward to this, and I don't usually look forward to horror films and like these kinds of movies in general, but this feels like Kiara, correct me if like you've seen like if you got a different vibe from this movie, but this feels like Get Out without any of the social commentary. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say it's more like Inception, but instead of it reminds me of Inception in the sense of like you going inside of a mind, but instead of being entrapped there, you're being controlled. It like Inception, but like not as direct of how they were like inside of a mind to get out of the mind. But yeah, no, this seems cool. I already have a theory about how it's gonna end.
Really?
Yes.
What, do you want to put your theory on record well before the release date of this thing?
I think the doctor is somehow either related to her or has known her from the past, because like you're telling me in the beginning scene she already had a hypnosis effect happen before she even went to him. So I feel like he's been watching her for a minute. He knows her from somewhere. That's just my theory.
So the hypnotist is a stalker, you're saying?
A stalker, or maybe like an ex-boyfriend, something of a relation. Because usually what I've seen in movies is that how can I put this? The inciting incident or whatever the main premise, when it happens in the beginning of the movie before it's introduced as a problem, usually, if not, it's related to somebody in the movie with the main character. I hope that makes sense. So like
It sounds like you've done a lot of watching of movies in this genre to be able to sort of pick apart what would count as narrative foreshadowing.
Yeah,
because that's you're describing.
That's what horror films do. That's what it is. It's just you're foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing that you do not see or you do not add up, because when you add on top of the horror and the gore, that's what distracts you from sometimes the actual plot line. It keeps you on edge because people are dying or something creepy is happening that you're not paying attention to the foreshadowing. I tend to pay attention. They like usually, not all the time, but usually like in the first 30 minutes, I tend to figure it out because the foreshadowing, it's going to pop up later in the film, obviously. But I could be wrong. I don't know. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is something, but so it sounds like you're definitely going to watch this by your reaction here.
I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch.
So yeah, me like this, my reaction to this is also intrigue and excitement, which is saying something considering I'm not usually, like I was saying, I'm not usually into this kind of movie, but meaning like, you know, thrillers, killer sort of movies. But the way that this kind of like turns the idea of like hypnotism under the auspices of self-help, you know, it really kind of it's one of those things that it's one of those premises that people don't really think about too terribly much because it so freaks people out. The idea of you're not in control of your own mind, which is fundamentally what this movie is about. Right. And it'll be very interesting to see not just the way that they carry this out above and beyond what this trailer alludes to, but also how the protagonists, how like the woman there, the central character, fights back.
Right.
You know, which can go either way with something like this, with a movie like this that is designed to take a very sort of hokey and semi-predictable, audience can sort of see certain beats coming, as Kiara just proved, narrative premise, and sort of flip it on its head in a way that the audience doesn't see coming. Because in movies like this, especially in movies like this, the less that the audience can see coming accurately, the better the movie winds up being.
Right.
And that's especially key of thriller movies or slasher films. And so, yeah, there we go. I guess we'll find out for sure when this movie, when Hypnotic, drops on exclusively on Netflix. I think it said the October 24. When did that say, Kiara? 27, excuse me. October 27. So like right around the corner. So what is about another 10, 11, 12 days from now? 12 days from now. Cool. Alrighty. So this is definitely a thumbs up from Weekend Showcase on that one. Let's go ahead and move on. Do you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yes. I watched all seasons.
I love the way you said yes.
It's a good show. Once you stop after season 5, you got to stop at season 5, and it's a good show. But yes, it took my life away for like a couple years.
8 years? Oh, only a couple years?
Yeah, well, like because when it first came out, I didn't pay attention to it. I don't do like I hate when people continuously talk about a show. I wait until people shut up about it, but nobody shut up about it. And so I decided to give it a try. The first episode had me. That's how I knew it was going to be a good show. The first episode had me. Like the ending of the first episode, it had me. It just, I was like, okay, yeah, I got a devil.
So it looks like HBO Max is putting together, if I'm not mistaken, a prequel to Game of Thrones, something called House of the Dragon. This is a trailer that just released last week. Should Game of Thrones have a prequel? Let's start there. Should it have a prequel before I show you this trailer?
Yes and no. It like the books themselves. I haven't read the books, but I have a friend who has read the books. She's a big fan. And when you read the books and you really kind of see the telling of the story and how it ended, the prequel kind of makes sense because you have a lot of questions in the main show that do not get answered. And so the prequel kind of answers what it didn't answer in the main show, or it kind of even connects more dots as to why, certain people either died or related, whatever, what have you. So yes and no, because like the prequel doesn't fix what you did with the bulk of the show.
Well, but, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the way that they handle this. You never know. Let's muster up a little bit of cautious optimism.
I just hope they listen to their audience. That's it.
Yeah, this is like their one shot to really kind of recover some of the good graces they lost by season 8. I mean,
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm scared just a little bit. But go
okay.
ahead.
I'll let you take point on first reaction to this for obvious reasons, because I was not into Game of Thrones. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at this just as like, would this interest me to get started with this lore? So we'll see. This, we'll see. That should be on a t-shirt at this point. Here's the first teaser for House of the Dragon coming to HBO Max. Here we go.
Gods. Kings. Fire. And blood.
Doctor Who.
Dreams didn't make us kings.
The Iron Throne.
Dragons did.
Okay, so let me go ahead and move this back over to gallery view. All right, so Kiara, first reactions to House of the Dragon.
I'm intrigued. I think the one thing that is pulling me in is because, like, so in the original show you hear about the Mad King, but you don't know much about him. All you know is that Jaime slaying him, and that's the reason why he is known as being like the best of the night. And then with Daenerys, that is her family, and you kind of see like the house of Targaryen be birthed and how she carries the legacy of being the only person who has dragons. You know, I think the first season, I don't know. I think it's intriguing, but it will only go so far. You're talking, because it's 200 years before. As long as they listen to their audience, I think it can be something. I think they're going to try to do the most, make it a top tier show like Games of Thrones, and I don't want them to do that.
So you've seen every episode, right?
I've seen every episode.
Okay.
Yes.
Given what happened with the last 3 seasons in particular, because you were saying that's kind of where your interest as a diehard fan kind of went off a cliff after season 5.
Yeah, I would say like season 6-ish, season 5, season 6-ish. It was like where things started to like turn for the worse.
Okay, so given that, and given how you know how the original show ended those last couple years, is there anything that, in your perspective, in your opinion as a fan, there were some like missed opportunities or like some ideas? No, but wait, hold on. Is there anything in terms of opportunities for closure that would make sense for a prequel like this to do that you're hoping that they do with House of the Dragon? You know what I'm saying? Like to retroactively sort of
I don't think so, because of the timeline. And because you're only focusing on one family, i.e. he is the main family. That is the family that essentially holded the true power of the throne. The whole quest was Daenerys to take over the throne. It was her, not her herself. It was her brother, but her brother was killed. And I won't say how, but like it was their family at the end of the day who sequestered to take the throne, because their dad was the one who essentially created the whole thing of the throne. So no, I don't think you can, in my opinion. Because it would make no sense, because then you would have to resurrect dead people and like go back in time, and it doesn't make any sense, because 200 years before, how do you fast forward to 200, 400 years later? I don't know. But I think it's a nice little fresh start. I think it's just they're doing this because you're trying to reconcile for what you did. But like you can't fix what you did. But it's okay.
See, and there's a bigger problem that you actually just alluded to right then with that last sentence. That's a perfect segue, actually. You just said like you can't really fix what you did, mainly because they're so far in the past and all that sort of thing. I mean, there's a problem that often happens with prequels that we got probably the most, I would argue, the most extreme example of with the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm not talking about F9. I'm not talking about those recent films. I'm talking about the stuff that happened between 3 and 7. Like this will sound like a digression, but I'm trying to make a serious point here. For those who aren't aware, the timeline for the 9 movies basically goes 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, 8, 9. And that means that the 4th, 5th, and 6th movies are essentially prequels to the 3rd because of a very important plot point in 3 that I'm not going to bring up. That was kind of like, if you saw 9, it was kind of spelled out for you earlier this year. But anyway, I'm not going to go ahead and say it here because 9 is way too recent. But there were moments in the course of 4, 5, and 6. I kind of knew that this was a prequel from the beginning, basically, as far as like the 4th, 5th, and 6th Fast and Furious films. And as I'm watching this, Dom's character in particular, there's a part of me as an audience member that always knew there couldn't be anything that happens to him the entire time.
That he would like never die. Yeah.
Because at the very least, because I don't think this is too much of a spoiler to say this, Dom has a cameo appearance at the end of 3, the 3rd movie in that franchise, which, don't forget, is after the 4th, 5th, and 6th movies. So things like the fuel tanker heist at the beginning of 4, the bank vault chase at the end of 5, the endless runaway, the endless plane runaway sequence where like his car does a bunch of crazy flips and the whole plane explodes at the end of 6, right? He has to survive all of that in order to avoid breaking the timeline because he appears in 3. So at the back of my mind, I know there's no real risk. We know he survives this. I know as an audience member, we know he survives this. So that's the risk that you run with having a prequel that follows characters that to one degree or another, we know exist, or at the very least, we have confirmed the extent of their existence, how old they were when they died, by the time we see the sequel show, in this case, the main Game of Thrones franchise, the main Game of Thrones show, because of the time gap, So anything that happens, to any of the central characters in House of the Dragon that threatens their lives, but we know that they're going to be around, in the main show, it's like we can only be so invested as an audience when we have a spoiler waiting for us that we've already seen. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. In that prequel, I mean, at the end of the day, the only 2 people that ain't going to die is Daenerys and her brother. Everybody else is kind of up for grabs. Like it's a known fact that her father will die. There,
spoiler alert.
No, I mean, like, it's true. I mean, it is, because that's the whole premise of the throne. He had to be slain in order for the throne to be up for grabs for everybody. And now that's the whole new founding of generation. But I think it's interesting. The interesting part is to see how the throne was created, why was it, and the importance behind it, and really the bloodshed behind it. Like, it's a cool throne, but like also it's detriment to like a genocide of people. Thousands of people have died for that throne. That's the whole pride behind it, is all the swords. I mean, ultimate bloodshed of not just soldiers, but women, children, anybody. The whole thing is like no sacrifice is too great. So you also see the savagery and the ruthlessness that comes from maintaining that power, which I think is interesting. I think it also just kind of delves more into like just certain characters that you didn't get a full viewpoint, because what happened in Game of Thrones is later in the seasons, you just kind of focus really on just 1 to 2 people and made that be their show and kind of left everybody else behind. And then in season 8, you wrapped it up with like mostly everybody dying. And, again,
spoiler alert.
Surviving. Yeah, no, I mean, really. And like, even their deaths weren't even, I mean, for me, the part that really pissed me off is that Cersei was able to die peacefully when she shouldn't have. You don't get to do all that and die by being crumbled by rock.
I mean,
I forbid it. Not on my watch. No, that's not how that works. That's not how it should work. No, but you know, it is what it is. But I think going to a prequel, hopefully you tend more to the storyline of everybody, because everybody has a part in what happened. Literally everybody, specifically that family, everybody in that family, there's a reason, you know? So, you know.
Before we wrap this up and go to one last thing, we're coming up on 11 o'clock. What's your thought? What are your thoughts on the idea of a multiverse? Because I'm thinking ahead to a worst case scenario where what if they actually do kill off somebody who we know is supposed to be around in the main show or like later on, you know, like, and that would be the only way to excuse that without breaking the entire continuity. They would have to say the House of the Dragon is in another continuity.
I think it just, you can't do multiverse because it ruins the destiny of Bronn and him being the third crow. That's the thing. Like,
but does it? If it's a multiverse, it doesn't undo the main show, right? Isn't that how that works?
Like but then it would. I feel like there would be a plot hole in the main show, like because like the journey of Bronn becoming the third crow and then him being all knowing and how he went back into the past himself. He went back into the past for his parents. And then he traveled to in the future, but he also went way back into the past. I feel like if you do a multiverse, then the answer would be like, well, why didn't Bronn do such and such and such?
Oh, yeah.
If, you know, I'm just saying,
not to
if
mention,
people want to devil into that far, you know, whatever.
Not to mention, there's the whole issue of like, you know, Biff takes the DeLorean back to 1955, and then how did he get back to 2015 if he changed the timeline by giving his younger self the almanac in 1955? You know, when you're supposed to go to the future of that version of reality, it's a weird sort of plot hole that, oh wait, that's back to the future.
Sometimes it's just plot holes don't matter. Sometimes it's just like sometimes it's like it's okay if it doesn't. That for them, like they could do a multiverse and then you'll probably say like we know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense, you know. So they might do it anyway because you don't care. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit that it's a lazy narrative trick to sort of get around the consequences of creating a contradictory plot hole, especially with prequels. But
you gotta do it anyway. You gotta prove for it. It's already in the budget.
We'll see if that happens. We'll see how. More importantly, we'll see how the fans react to it, because you know it's going to stick in everybody's throats if they wind up doing that for the sake of creating dramatic tension or like keeping people on the edge of their seats, thinking they're going to mop up the mess by the time the last episode airs.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Oh, brother. Okay. Let's see. Here's another one. This is Saints Row or Paranormal Activity. Which one do you want to do?
If you choose. I'm not.
Okay, how about Paranormal Activity?
Sure. Next of kin. Oh Lord. Oh my.
Biological relative.
She's Amish.
I'm not. I am not Amish.
What's wrong with being Amish? Well, there's a lot wrong.
Grateful to have our sister Margot return to us.
I've always hoped that I could meet you all, so this is a really special moment for me.
Hey, mind if I film you for a moment?
I like your doll. What's your name?
Yeah.
You know, that was my mom's name. She used to live here a long time ago.
She's still here.
What did you say? Whoa. Why would they build a church all the way back
here?
No.
What is that?
The demon, Asmodeus, was trapped inside a chosen woman of God.
This has happened before.
Really? You're going to use your tripod as a weapon?
These from my mom? You can't have me and my baby?
Yeah.
I know every Amish family within a 50-mile area. They ain't Amish.
Jesus wird kommen, Jesus wird kommen, Christus schaut die ganze Erde. Jesus wird kommen, Jesus wird kommen.
What is going on here? Like, he done got hit in the head. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God.
You sure about this?
I have to know.
What are you doing?
Oh boy. Okay.
All right,
Whoops.
whenever.
Sorry. Hang on. Put the title card up. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. But there it is. Okay. So all right. I'm gonna go ahead and take this first crack at this. Okay, first of all, let me go ahead and just point out the obvious here. How in the world did this girl get away with bringing camera equipment to an Amish household? It's
Right,
like, isn't it supposed to be like, right? Aren't they supposed to be like Kathy Bates in The Water Boy? Like, video cameras are the devil. You know what I mean? Like, it's like.
Well, I think like they would allow her to do that because she's like a relative from the lost world. Maybe somebody had a heart, but it doesn't make any sense how she'd be able to charge it because they literally have no electricity.
Yeah, like, did you bring a solar generator or something to like?
Plot hole number one, babes. Plot hole number one. I'm
Yeah.
already on, y'all.
I mean, I was hoping that there'd be like a thing where they could sort of justify it by sort of like intercutting back and forth in terms of the editing process between stuff that was like professionally shot, like with a, you know, the normal sort of production style of a movie, as opposed to like reverting back to what we would expect from Paranormal Activity, which is, you know, the found footage style from the camera that she brought. So like jumping back and forth that, you know, because like, so she doesn't use her entire battery in one shot, you know, because where, like you said, where is she going to charge it?
Maybe she brought up like a backup camera.
I mean, but like you were saying, like these are plausible plot holes that sort of ruin the suspension of disbelief. But anyway, it's interesting that this is going direct to streaming. This is hitting Paramount Plus a couple days before Halloween. I'm not usually into horror. I already said.
Get more traffic towards your app.
Sorry, say again, Kira.
So they're probably doing that so you can get more traffic towards your app. Like I haven't gotten Paramount Plus. I know they're big headliners, which is disrespectful. They took The Office off of Netflix and they put it on Paramount. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that a lot of these networks, they're taking off their golden tickets and saying, hey, the only way you can watch this is if you come over here, you know? I think this is just because, you know, people are big fans of Paranormal Activity. This gives you a chance to have more streamers for the holidays. So, you know, but, you know, I could just use a free trial to watch it and go about my day.
I'm not even sure if this is one of the streamers that actually does use a free trial.
They probably don't.
I know Apple TV Plus still uses a free trial, but HBO Max does not since Wonder Woman 1984, when they like started putting out theatrical movies day and date. They stopped that theatrical that free trial service opportunity.
I mean, I understand to a degree that if you're like HBO Max, you know, they're solid. HBO Max is like my new. I don't have to go to the movies. I can literally watch it on HBO Max.
Well, but anyway, we're not here about HBO Max, like Paramount Plus and Paramount Activity. Sorry, we need to refocus. Would you see this movie, Next of Kin, if you had Paramount Plus, hypothetically? Or would this motivate you to get Paramount Plus?
No, it wouldn't motivate me.
Okay.
Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. I mean, Paranormal Activity, it was never scary to me because of the way that they do the camera footage. It takes it away from me. But you know, I would watch it with people if they want to sit down and watch it. Like, you know.
Okay. So like on a dark and stormy night, basically. Like
that's not it wouldn't be it would be something I would like watch like
with the lights on, chicken. No, I'm kidding.
This would be this would be a show I would probably watch if I had to take my hair out.
Okay, just some white noise in the background while you're doing that.
Yeah, just something to watch, keep me interested, but like I'm not paying too much heavy of attention to.
Okay.
That would be it.
All right. I mean, at least that's something. I'll be honest, I wouldn't watch this. I'm just gonna be straight up. I wouldn't watch this.
I hope the grandma is okay.
I mean, I don't know what was happening with the potato peeler on the back of the hand right there. That was some sort of like that's the thing that always creeps me out about movies like this when they sort of show like what seem like regular people going through like really profound and clearly paranormally influenced moments of self-mutilation, to sort of disorient the audience. It's like it's obvious what you're doing, production, but it's like at this point it feels like such a hokey attempt at like a disorienting scare. It's not even a jump scare, which is largely what you go to movies like this for, is jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you're just going for the visual disorientation of it, and it's like that's not really scary. It's just off-putting. Like I was off-put by that. I wasn't scared. I wasn't like, I wasn't even wanting to ask that question you just asked. I hope she's okay. I have no reason to ask that. What is this? What is this we're even watching anymore? How many movies have there been in this franchise? Why do we need one? Why do we need another one? And why do we need one that's centered on an Amish farm? Are you kidding me? Like, I don't know. Like maybe I'm being too harsh on it, but that's just my first reaction to this.
No, that's understandable.
I don't know. But anyway, all right. That's basically all that we got right now. Let me see, go back into this right quick. That concludes on this. Kara, do you have any more closing thoughts before we wrap up?
Stop with these reboots. That's it.
All right. Last words from Miss Kara Douglas. Thanks so much, Kara, for joining me this evening for trailer reactions. And once again, special shout out to Miss Reina Moreno, who joined us for the first 2/3 of this footage. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us the whole thing, but we'll be seeing her again really soon. And obviously, once again, thanks to you at home for tuning in. This has been Weekend Showcase trailer reactions for the week ending Friday, October 15, 2021. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Don Shannon, and have a great weekend. Be safe. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully, we'll be able to get something together for either tomorrow or Sunday night live. We have a bunch of new weird news footage, or we have lots of video game streaming options to be able to put together. Hopefully, we'll come up with something good. We'll let you know on our IG at Weekend Showcase. We'll go ahead and announce it when we go live, and we'll see you then. Have a good one. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.